What's up, folks? The Council Boys are back for another episode of the new year. I am joined with the homie Mikey B.
Hey there, Josh. How's it going?
It's going, man, and another great week to talk video games.
I have gathered three news stories of note, and we'll see if this is worth discussing or not with a little yay or nay from Josh.
Let's do this. We got quick fire the news.
Here we go.
It's a new gaming council. The way we're approaching the episodes is quick fire and straight to the facts. Maybe
Yes, sir.
Get a couple hot takes. We'll see how it goes.
So I guess the biggest news, speaking of Star Wars, Star Wars has had a 10-year commitment with EA, and their 10-year commitment, it goes up 2023. So with that, with that being sooner than you think, Ubisoft and LucasArts Games announced a new story-driven Star Wars game. The game will be developed by Massive Entertainment. They are the people that make the Tom Clancy game.
Rainbow Six.
No, thank you so much, Josh.
Yeah.
They make the Division, so they know what they're doing with kind of open world games. If you ever played the Division 1 or 2. And is this a yay or nay? Do you want to continue talking about this or swiping right to the next story?
We can kind of briefly talk about this. Like,
Sure.
I played the Division 2.
Mm-hmm.
The game's dope. It's fun. It's got like a pretty good progression style, and if they're gonna take like tidbits out of that, then I'll dig it because you could probably trade like droid parts and stuff and make guns and things. But what I'm nervous is that I don't want it to end up being like Assassin's Creed, where it's like you'll get like a mission and then they all start like becoming super similar, and then you give up like halfway just because it's like the progression style is not that great. So I'm here for it. Hopefully we'll get to see maybe a couple of like ideas float around soon of what's going to happen, or if kind of they're going to do like the Knights of the Old Republic style sort of thing, or something completely brand new. So I'm hyped for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting because it's unknown. So we don't know, like you said, like what time place this is taking place. Is this taking place during like the prequels, like the Clone Wars? Is this taking place during like the classics, like Empire Strikes Back? Is this like will this take place after Rise of Skywalker, kind of like that at like post Resistance breaking down? So that's kind of cool to see what's happening.
Yeah, if they tie it into like the movies and all that sort of stuff, that would be insane. That'd be so cool because I don't think there's like any game that we've seen doesn't really tie into movies like that, or there's not a like collection of movies where like, oh, the game fits in here too. So it's like being able to bring some of those assets in there too could make a pretty good story. So
yeah, especially if you could choose between being on the light or dark side of it. That'd be cool to have like that like RPG element of like, do you want to be like a Jedi, or do you want to be,
what was
opposite of the Force? That'd be cool to take.
What was Ubisoft's latest game? Rainbow Six?
Rainbow Six, and then obviously they made the Viking Assassin's Creed game.
Immortal Rising.
Yeah, Immortal Rising. Yeah, they would take on like the Zelda Greek gods. So they've branched out a bit, and they're also making that SSX tricky game called Riders Republic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't think Star Wars has really anything to worry about except just the Assassin's Creed thing. It's there too. Same thing with like Legion or Watch Dogs. But yeah, hopefully they don't fuck it up because EA's been fucking this up. So
true.
There's the first hot take. EA fucked up, the opportunity to put a story into Battlefront 2. Drop that shit. Except for Fallen Order, that one's not too bad. I could dig that. And Battlefront because I'm playing that, but the progression style in Battlefront is trash. So it's like they make you pretty much buy loot boxes and fuck all that. So it's about time. So hopefully we get a pretty good Star Wars game.
Yes, sir. On to the next story. Speaking of Lucasfilms, another Lucasfilm franchise is getting a game very soon. A new Indiana Jones game is coming from Bethesda Games, and it's being developed by Machine Games. So they are the makers of the Wolfenstein franchise, so like kind of those action-packed first-person shooters. And that's all we got a little bit of a trailer for it, but yeah, it's cool. So this is the second kind of like Lucas property that's could be that's entering the video game realm. Is this a yay or nay for you there, Josh?
This is a yay, and also how awesome are the transitions working out for you right now, man? It's just like
It seems like we actually prepped the show.
smooth.
It's like we prepped the show this week.
Which kind of says a lot, but we are a real podcast and we do this shit live. So yeah, I loved the trailer to this. The fact that like they put like all the logos in like passports, or they kind of like mixed it into like all the little like cool trinkets you'd find on like a what is he, an archaeologist? Like you find or like you find all this stuff like all over the table, and the way it kind of prepped itself. And I'm not super excited for it, but because like the first person thing kind of like it reminds me of like what was the third BioShock. That's kind of what I'm kind of thinking, because I feel like he used like a rope in it, and you're still able to shoot like one side. So that's
BioShock Infinite was the title.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be like. But unless they have like a pretty good story to kind of put it all together, and that doesn't involve aliens, then I'll try it. So here's to hoping that we get a little more details into what's happening. But also they have a movie coming out soon too, don't they? So I don't know if it's
I believe so.
One of those games kind of based off the movie sort of thing. So, but what would be cool is that they kind of span the game through the movies.
Oh,
so
that would be tight.
Like, you kind of get like tidbits of like the first movie, you get Raiders, and then you get like the other ones. You kind of like do little ones, and then kind of go into like your own version of like their next story. So,
gotcha.
That would be huge.
This is all speculation, but this is Twitter speculation based on these people, based on Twitter guys. So take this with the grain of salt. Super grain of salt. It looks like this game could be set partially in 1937, as we see Indy venturing Rome, we see Indy venturing to Rome. Given the trailer shows off a map of the Vatican, as well as a note from Indy partly saying that I will be arriving in Rome. So that is a possibility that this game could be set in the Vatican in 1937. So
they're gonna be fighting some alien priests. What's up next?
If that was the case, that wouldn't be gold.
Yikes!
Speaking of gold, Xbox Live Gold was supposed to have a price change, but then they reversed course so very quickly to save face, and Xbox Live Gold will not be getting a price increase. So that is a good move for Xbox, because Xbox was, I think our mantra for this pretty much this whole podcast existence has been Xbox is for the people.
Yeah.
And obviously, an price increase is definitely not people friendly, especially during the times that we're living in. So yeah, good on them for hearing feedback from the fans and from us saying, hey, that's a little whack, giving a price increase. So they reverted course, and it's gonna keep at its very reasonable price. So good on Xbox.
Yeah, that's dope. I wish Netflix would do that too. Take a note out of their page and not keep hiking these prices up for movies that we don't want to see. So yeah, Xbox keeping it back to normal, but I can see why they want to raise the prices, because they're literally giving you everything. But
there's a credible amount of value to this. Yes.
Yeah, and so it's like, well, do you raise the prices and potentially lose people, or do you keep the prices and potentially gain more people? And it's like, and we all know at the end of the day, this is all a business. So it's like, I think that's why they were shooting for that. But I'm sure they'll think of something to make that money back, to like a gold plus or some shit, where like you get, instead of a week to play a free game, you get like an extra 2 weeks or some shit. So we'll see what
that could be a good incentive.
Up their sleeve.
And that just was our first edition of Rapid Fire News.
There you go. I dig it. This was cool. Just got covered all our bases. What's going on? Not a lot of big topics going around the news these days, but
true.
We'll take it how it comes, and we'll go from there. So we will catch you. Oh, Mikey B, you got a fact for the end of the episode or not?
Not this week, Josh.
Not this week, but
just the facts that we have a new president. That's the only fact I think you need to know.
That's the facts, and that's the news, and we're the Council Boys. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode
bing,
of the Gaming Council podcast. Now, If you're not with us on the social game, you really missing out. On Instagram, follow us at the Gaming Console Podcast. Facebook is the Gaming Console Podcast. Also, follow us on Twitter. We're the Console Boys on Twitter, so hit us up, tweet us. Everything podcast related episode wise, go to gamingconsolepod.com.
The Council Boys in the building tonight. Oh, what a feeling. I'm feeling life.
Console Boys are out.